This is case study number 2. If you didn't see the first case study, what this is about is me and my colleague Brendan, who are making the launch content for the Shopify Academy. We each started a store around mid to end July, and we were going to see what we could do with it by the end of August, and we were going to share the results publicly before the launch of the Academy for the purpose of credibility and things like that. So this is going to be the results of the store that I started back in late July. And just a quick disclaimer, keep in mind that both of these examples, we've both started successful Shopify stores in the past, so starting a new one from scratch is going to be easier for us than it will be for someone who's never started a profitable store before. So I'm going to reiterate that this is in no way a claim or guarantee that you will make any amount of money whatsoever. This is just being shown for credibility purposes, as well as to provide some value and also to give you a couple updates on the Shopify Academy, which is coming out this Friday, September the 23rd at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Time. And as of right now, there is already about 50 videos in there, and I think we're adding 5 or 6 more before this Friday, so there's going to be 50 plus videos at launch, and then there's going to be new videos added every month, as well as videos from other people as well. We're going to try and diversify the sources of information as much as possible, so that way we can provide as many perspectives as possible. So getting into this case study here, you can see that. So you can see here, late July is when I started, and you can see it's not really doing anything for the first few weeks. I mean, there's a couple days where it's, breaking 100, breaking 200, but nothing really significant during this point in time, and you can see the traffic isn't really increasing much, and that's because during this period of time, I was just testing out a bunch of different ads and seeing which ones are performing the best, and waiting to see some results that I felt like I'd feel comfortable with scaling up with. So you can see around mid-August, August 15th, the revenue starts to increase. So you can see $394, and this is about the same time I started to bump up the traffic, so I started scaling the ads. So no coincidence that the revenue is increasing, and you can see the next big revenue jump is right here on August 22nd. It hits $738, and I was continually scaling those ads up. And then by the end of the month, you can see those 3 days where here it broke 1,500, and then 1,400, so close to 1,500. So beyond just showing some credibility, I also want to get into just a few lessons that you could learn. So the first thing that you can take from this is a lot of the times you're going to have to be really patient when it comes to finding winning ad sets and ad campaigns, because as you can see here during this time period, I mean, there's a little bit of money being made, but overall the store was still in the negative because this was a hybrid type store, meaning there's AliExpress products and t-shirt products, like print on demand t-shirt products in here. So the startup cost for this was a bit higher than if it was just AliExpress, and between apps and everything for the first month, during this whole period, the store was still pretty much in the negative, especially considering most of these days you're going negative due to high ad spend, because I think during the experiment period I was running probably 8 or 9 ad sets at a time between $5 to $8, just seeing what products are doing the best, what targeting's working, and things like that. So the first lesson you can learn is you have to be patient and continually experiment. You can't expect, a lot of people post big numbers, and it fools people into thinking that they're going to start their store and make $1,000 in sales their first day, and that's just kind of a load of crap. That's not going to happen. You got to work your way up to it. You got to go through the experimental stage to find ad sets that are working. Once you get everything right, your targeting and things like that, and then you can see once you find a few winning products and get your targeting right, you can see how you can effectively scale up a campaign. And another lesson you can take from this is ecom isn't something where it's going to be a set amount of sales every day. So as you can see, if you look to the later in the month, you can see there was a couple days that were doing close to 1,500 or over 1,500 these 4 days. But then some days, it was doing 850, 919, 686, 865, and then this day even came down to 641, and that's between 3 days that did 1,500. So another lesson you can take from that is some days in ecom are just going to be, I guess you could say, off days or slightly down days. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. There's no reason to freak out and jump ship just because stuff's inconsistent. Ecom as a business is just inherently inconsistent. That's just how it goes, so there's no reason to freak out if you see slight discrepancies in your scaling efforts. You want to look at the overall trend, and you can see this overall trend is up, and then once it hits here, the overall trend is pretty much between 800 and 1,500. So you want to just go with the overall trend, not the 1 or 2 days. You want to step back and look at the big picture when it comes to the direction your store is going. And I went ahead and switched over these sales to the month of September, and you can see that the store is still going at a pretty good pace. It's already surpassed the sales of last month, which were 15,000. It's already hit 16,000, and we're a little bit past halfway through the month, so the store is pretty much on pace to do double what it did last month since there's ad sets up and rolling. So with that being said, I hope you took some value from this video, and also if you'd like to lock in the charter price for the Shopify Academy, you can click a link in the annotation or in the description below, and you can lock in the lifetime membership price of $37 per month if you're one of the first 100 people to join on Friday, or within the first 24 hours, whichever happens first. And as stated earlier, there's going to be over 50